Imagine this. You walk into a job interview. You're feeling good. You think it's going great. But what if you could get rejected in the first 30 seconds? Not because of your skills, but because of one super common mistake. We're going to break down exactly how that happens, and more importantly, how you can make sure it never happens to you.
30 seconds. Yeah, you heard that right. A hiring manager said that's all it took to decide nope on a candidate. It sounds crazy, right? It just begs the question, what could someone possibly say in half a minute that would just totally tank their chances? Well, the answer is surprisingly common, and it's a lesson that could honestly change your entire career. So that's the big mystery we're digging into today. What is that one signal, that one little thing you can say that makes an interviewer mentally check out before the conversation has even really started? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's a totally normal interview. It's just getting started. The interviewer asks one of those classic opening questions, something like, "So, tell me a little bit about your experience." And the candidate's answer, well, it sealed their fate right then and there. So the candidate says, "I'm very experienced in back-end development. I've worked with many technologies and handled complex systems." Now, listen to that. On the surface, that sounds fine, right? It sounds professional, maybe even a little confident. So what on earth could be wrong with that answer? And boom, that was it. That was the answer that triggered the instant rejection. In the interviewer's head, the moment they heard those words, the interview was basically over. Let's get into the psychology of why. To really get this, we have to kind of put ourselves in the interviewer's shoes. See, they're not just listening to your words, they're decoding them, looking for specific signals. And that answer that seems so harmless, to them, it actually had 3 fatal flaws that just screamed risk. So here are the 3 big red flags. First up, no scope. Complex systems. What does that even mean? Is that a system for a dozen users or a million users? The interviewer has absolutely no idea. Second, no ownership. What did you actually do? The word handled is so passive, it tells them nothing. And third, and this is a big one, no measurable impact. So what? What was the result of your work? Did you make things better, faster, cheaper? Without those details, the words are just empty.
And this really gets to the heart of the matter. If you can't describe your value clearly, you are a risk. An interviewer isn't sitting there thinking, oh, this person is just being humble. No. They're thinking, this person can't even tell me what they've actually accomplished. And for a hiring manager, that vagueness doesn't signal modesty. It signals a huge gamble for their team.
Okay, so how do we fix this? The good news is, it's not about changing your experience, it's all about changing how you talk about it. Let's look at how we can turn that failing answer into one that immediately screams value.
All right, look at this side by side. On the left, you've got that vague, failing answer. But on the right, the winning answer. I work on back-end APIs used by over 200,000 users. I focus on performance, stability, and production issues. See the difference? It's night and day. We immediately get scope, over 200,000 users. That's a real number. It gives me a sense of scale. And we get clear ownership. I focus on performance, stability, and production issues. Now I know exactly what you do. It's specific, it's concrete, and it paints a really clear picture.
This whole thing really boils down to one simple but super powerful rule. If you can just remember this one principle, I'm telling you, it will fundamentally change how you go into job interviews, or really any conversation where you need to prove your worth.
Here it is. The rule to remember is interviewers don't reject confidence. They reject vagueness. So many people are afraid of sounding arrogant, so they water down their language. But that is a huge mistake. The interviewer wants you to own your achievements. They're not turned off by confidence. They're turned off by claims that have absolutely no proof. So be specific, be clear, and let the facts of your work speak for themselves.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Before you walk into your next interview, your next performance review, whatever it is, take a minute. Don't just think about what you did. Think about how you can describe it with real scope, clear ownership, and measurable impact. How are you going to prove your value in a way that leaves absolutely no room for doubt?